good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little beautifuls out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously. The sun has got his hat on. Hip, 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 hooray. Okay, so the sun's on and off today, my delicious babies. So it's just come out now. But there's a lot of dark clouds. Okay, my delicious babies, there's a few white clouds, or a few more than white clouds. But very little wind, and it's still t-shirt weather. Okay, my delicious babies, and I hope that wherever you are in the world, that life is treating you most deliciously, and that you too are having delicious and beautiful weather. Okay, because we've been blessed in our old England. Okay, I'm pretty sure not only in Brummyland, but in other places, my delicious babies, and for some. They cannot take the heat, bless them, okay? Well, it's just one of those things, isn't it, my delicious babies? You know what I mean? Horses for courses and all that. Anyway, my delicious babies, what's the time, Mr. Wolf? So the time will now be 7 minutes past 12 p.m. After midday, and in our old England, my delicious babies, okay? And I have 4 videos for today. Now then, I've just come across, actually, because it doesn't come up on my feed, I haven't advertised this dear man now forever, and with anybody not in that way, okay, apart from one. And what it is, my delicious babies, is his name is Peter. Now, I very first seen him on TikTok. Okay, my delicious babies, and well, I mean, he was just flipping hilarious. He made the flipping cat laugh, my delicious babies. He's an elderly man, bless him. Well, anyway, you're as old as you feel, aren't you, my delicious babies? You know what I mean? My beautiful, dear little Howler, and so beautiful, dear little nanny and granddad. I've already said good morning, my delicious babies. Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Okay, she used to always say that she felt like she was 17. Well, that's a good age to be for some delicious babies, isn't it? And of course, had she not have my beautiful dear little Nana Bear, had she have not had any interventions of any sort, she would have lasted far more and lived far more, longer than the age of 90 and a half. Okay, my delicious babies. But she did used to look after herself. Okay, my delicious babies. So that's not being disrespectful to anybody with what I've just said. Okay, but she never had shall we say, more serious conditions, mind you. I suppose you can have more serious than dementia, Alzheimer's, can you, my delicious babies? When they kill off the brain. You know what I mean, my delicious babies? Anyway, she was my rock. There we are. She will continue to be. She was so beautiful. She still is so beautiful. And so is my beautiful dear little granddad. They're so beautiful. You know what I mean? They'll be turning to see what's going on in this world, my delicious babies. You know what I mean? So will a lot of the other elderly, bless them. You know what I mean? They had, we go back decades and decades and decades ago. Okay, my delicious babies. They had, there we are, a backbone. Do you understand what I mean? Okay? And usually they'd say, no, I'm not putting up with this. I mean, to be fair, Yorkshire's one of the, it's one of the the best for that, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's a figure of speech. This saying has been around for whatever o'clock. Okay, my delicious baby. They call a spade a spade. So they do not ramp. They're just done telling you, there we are, the way it is. And of course, not all are liking, you know what I mean? And half of my family, my delicious babies, happens to come from all, do you know what I mean? My delicious babies, anyway. I'm forever putting my flipping damn foot in it anyway, you know what I mean? But, I'm a bit like Marmite. I've said this before. Ones either love me or hate me, really, you know what I mean? But it's usually what ones do not like is, it's the truth, isn't it? You know what I mean? And we're living in a world where ones do not like the truth. If you go back decades and decades ago, we never had all of this bollocks, be canned and all of this shit. You know what I mean, Mardelistic babies? I mean, come on. You know what I mean? If somebody had something to say, they never needed to use violence or anything like this now. Then they're just done telling you there we are the way it is. You know what I mean? And really, so really what should have changed? Nothing. You know, we all have different views. We all have different opinions. I'm a woman with a view. I shall have my effing view. But getting back to Dear Peter now then. So fast forward. So this video is just nearly 6 minutes long, and that's not curding, my delicious babies. 33.8 thousand subscribers. These are all on YouTube, by the way, my delicious babies. And this, I haven't advertised this channel forever. UK, then I think it's a space, and then two words together, news, capital N, capital U, update. Okay, my delicious babies. So it's UK space news update with 33.8 thousand subscribers. I just repeated once again. And the video should read, my cancer battle isn't over. Okay, my delicious babies. So I've just sent a comment. So I've only just seen it. The video was uploaded, I don't know, was it about, that doesn't mean no, about 22 hours ago or something. I've just put, you know, I advertise, you know, not to bring him to, do you understand? I'm not saying it for that reason. It's just I didn't want to put it on this channel because I think the UK news update, I think you have other uploaders. I think it's all part of, do you know what I mean? But I never wanted to put it on there. So I just put, you know, I advertise different uploaders, you know what I mean? So in other words, if you hear this, Peter, please listen to this video today because I'm going to give information out to you, okay? He's clearly very, bless his dear little soul, not in that way, not in that way. He's clearly very stressed out about this, my delicious little babies, okay? And, you know, I mean, he's such a banging, I mean, if somebody had him as a granddad, you know what I mean? Okay, I mean, of course, you know, my beautiful dear granddad, oh, bless his beautiful dear little soul once again, you know, I mean, he never used to swear, you know what I mean? But, you know, whether you swear or whether you do not, I mean, flip me, I can have my moments, man, to the little babies. I can flipping swear like a trooper, you know what I mean? But I wasn't brought up in a family of swearing. That's what I'm saying, okay? So I'm pretty sure that my beautiful nanny and granddad, you know, would be going, do you know what I mean? Of course, they could probably understand. There we are, why I'm flipping swearing, you know what I mean? My delicious babies, anyway. But dear Peter, bless him, right, he pulls no punches, old-fashioned saying, he's just done telling it the way it is, okay? But he is going through a very difficult time. So please, my delicious babies, you could just see it on his face, on his birth trace. He's very, very stressed out. But Peter, please, because I'm going to give out some information today, please, if you get this message, okay? I mean, I'm always sorry if somebody's not very well. Of course I am. But we have got, there we are, ways, okay, to help situations. I spoke to somebody years ago and they got the 5-year clear. Okay, the doctors were baffled. They said, well, what's the matter? You know, what's the matter? And what have you done to get yourself, you know, better like this? And what it was a change of diet. There we are, this is what it was. Okay, my delicious babies. So everybody's situation is different, clearly. And of course, if somebody gets told they've got, I mean, for decades, I used to call it the C. You know, I never used to call it cancer, my delicious babies, but I've had to do, there we are, my own research myself. Plus, there we are, the help. I know that not everybody believes in this, but I'm a spiritual woman. My own, there we are, research into this. There we are, okay, my delicious babies, plus, that's what I was just about to say, plus my beautiful dear spirit guards. Okay, so I really trust in my beautiful dear spirit guards. They're so beautiful. And my beautiful dear little angels, they're so beautiful. There we are. Okay? So there's always a way. So Peter, please do not despair. I know that you'd say, oh, it's easier for her to say than said than done. No. You know what I mean? There's always a way. if everybody's just going to say, and this is going to come across nasty what I'm going to say, my delish babies, I do not mean it this way, but ones can take it the way they want to. If they don't like my channel, move from my channel because your services is not required. I'm trying to help here. There we are. I'm trying to help here. If everybody says, oh, I'm so sorry to hear what's happening. Oh, it's not helping. It's not helping the dear man or the dear woman in that situation. That's not helping. I regard it as, it's very sad. We've all been there. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about this. Do you know what I mean? But I'm one, there we are, to try to find solutions. Okay, my delicious babies, positive mental attitude all the time. So Peter, number one, okay, my videos don't get looked at. That's neither here nor there. There's always someone seeing, there's always someone hearing. There's always someone seeing, there's always someone hearing. Two way. Okay, my delicious babies. So number one, celery juice. Okay, celery juice. All right. Now, number two, if you was to go on to Peter, this is for Peter now, so if anybody can get this message across to Peter on a UK news update on YouTube, 33.8 thousand subscribers. Okay, please and thank you. And this will help, there we are, anybody else as well. Of course, everybody's different, so you've got to mix and match. Not being nasty, you got to, suck it and see. That's the old-fashioned saying. You've got to try different things now. Things and things, two way. Okay. Number two, if you was to please and thank you, Peter, go on to World Space, Alternative Space, Media Space, Rumble. Okay. Now, Josh, bless him, not in that way with anyone, like I just said earlier. He gives out alternative, different cures basically, okay, to help. Okay, we've also got it's called Peter and anybody else who's listening to my video. Anyway, it's for anybody to listen to, but I really want to get this message across to Peter because he's such a lovely dear man, bless him. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, just want to try and find a way to help you. Okay, so also this is called Masterpiece. Now I did talk about this whatever o'clock ago, years ago. Okay, it's master, as in spelled Master, master, space, not space. It's two words together, do forgive me. Peace. So peace is flowing like a river, flowing out through you and me. Okay? So peace. So it's not as in a piece of paper. It's as in PEACE, masterpiece. Okay, Peter, or to anybody else out there, my delicious babies, okay? It's where you put a certain so many drops, under your tongue in the morning and at night, okay? Some can have a low dosage and others can have a higher dosage, okay? But please, you can always do that. You can actually go on, lovely, not in that way with anyone, like I just said earlier, redacted on YouTube, okay? They've just advertised it just a couple of days ago, okay? There are others. We got our lovely dear Dr. Robert O. Young, very sadly. I'm not sure if he's come out of his incarceration yet, simple things. What was going on there is they decided, simple things, to incarcerate the poor gentleman because apparently the FDA never agreed with him advertising his product because he made a product with somebody else, okay? So, masterpiece, okay? Then if you go on to our lovely, not in that way, our lovely David Mahoney on YouTube, okay? I think he's up to, is it 2.86 thousand subscribers? Thank you. Have a lovely day. Love to you and your family. It's just me, a postman. Sorry about that, Martin. I do shout sometimes. Getting back to matter in hand, yeah. So David Mahoney, Space Mahoney, he's up to 2.86 thousand subscribers. Well, he was the other day. And it is, my beautiful neighbours, best. It was, what is it? Spiritual tips to awaken the soul. I'm pretty sure it's spiritual tips to her. You know, I watch all these videos, mad delicious babies, okay, not in that way, not in that way. Okay, so I should flipping know this by now anyway. But Peter, I've given you some ideas now. If you go on to Substack as well, you can look at, what's his name now? Oh, flip me. Dr. Brian with a Y, not an A. Dr. Brian Ardis. Mind you, he does have the Dr. Brian Ardis show on YouTube as well. Okay, my delicious little Peter. Okay, so you know I'm doing my best here. There we are to help you and anybody else who happens. There we are to swing by my channel, my delicious babies. Okay, there is always there we are a way. Okay, berries are really, really good as well. You know, wild, what I picked the other day. Okay, there we are. They're very good for you. Okay, why don't you get as well? You sat there. We are. Get yourself some rhubarb, cabbage. Okay, especially green leafy cabbage. Okay, so there's so many things now then that you can have. I know it's not always very nice tasting. But what do they say? You know, anything that's good for you, there we are, usually doesn't taste that's extremely nice, you know what I mean? But if you need to take it, okay, there we are, then these are the things you need to do. Okay, and with dear Josh, bless him, on World Alternative Media, he advertises as well apricot seeds and things like this. Now, then there we are. So there's always a way, and I've actually spoke to ones actually who have about 3 or 4 little apricot seeds, there we are, a day, and it keeps their body functioning. So there are plenty of things now. Okay, so this is for Peter, bless him. I just need to get this message. There we are. A message to you, Rudy. You know what I mean? I need to get the message out. But anybody else who needs this, there we are, information as well. Okay, I'm just trying to help at the end of the day. That's all I can do. You know what I mean? Okay, but as we know, it's fungal. Okay, my delicious babies, and that's you know what I have to say there. But I do hope that you get a better very soon, Peter, and anybody else. There we are, who very sadly is suffering at this moment in time through any form of an illness or a disease. Okay, I send my love, okay, to you all, okay, but all I'm trying to do is just help you, okay, but I've only just heard your video, Peter, so please do forgive me for that. I haven't seen your channel for whatever o'clock, you know what I mean. Anyway, so that's Peter, bless him, and can everybody in their hearts and souls, can you please wish Peter, bless his lovely, beautiful, dear little soul, not in that way, not in that way. There we are, a speedy recovery, and for any body else, mankind in the world, you know, I too hope, there we are, that you get better very soon. There we are as well, okay? It's not that I'm a heartless bitch, I'm not. But we look for solution. There we are, we look for solutions. If there's a problem, there we are, there must be a solution, isn't it? Yes? Now then, my delicious babies, that's probably why I get called practical. Right, now then, the next one, my delicious babies, 26.2 thousand subscribers. This is called, I think I've only advertised these once before actually, okay? Again, this never came up on my feed. It's because I have to go fishing, you know what I mean? These are all spaces, capital M, more, then a space, than, then a space, A, then a space, midlife, then a space, C, crisis. So I'm just going to repeat that again for you. All spaces, the uploader, more than midlife crisis. And this is just over 11 minutes long. Mad delicious babies, I think it's about 5 days ago now? Okay, because there's so much going on, mad delicious babies. I know I seem like I'm a little bit behind, but I'm just trying to, you know, focus, there we are, on what I need to focus on, basically. The video should read, crazy scenes in Scotland. And this is Glasgow, Mardelicious Little Babies. Okay, so just repeat that again for you. Crazy scenes in Scotland, explosive. Sorry, okay. Yeah. Now this is to do with Antifa as well. Mardelicious Little Babies. Okay. So anyway, I mean, come on. It's anybody knows, and there we are, and I've known for decades. The worst thing to do now then is upset, especially a flipping Glaswegian. You know what I mean? It's just not the done thing to do at all. Mardelicious Little Babies, you know what I mean? Anyway, it seems that there was something going on here. Okay, Mardelicious Little Babies. So there's just a little bit of footage, but this is what's happening. You see, it's getting, when we're looking at what's going on in the world, Mardelicious Little Babies. There we are. It's like it's getting out of hand. Okay, so everything's getting out of hand. Do you see what I mean? Okay. And of course, you know, some cannot help themselves, you know, but if you're doing it for the right reasons and not doing it for the wrong reasons, just joining the dots, do you understand what I mean? Okay. Then, well, that's the way it goes, isn't it, Mardelicious Little Babies? You know, ones are just done doing it. But from what I can see, it seems to myself that there seems to be a lot of unrest. Okay, Mardelicious Little Babies, very sadly. Now, the next one, Mardelicious Little Babies. Now, you're probably wondering why I've thrown this in the mix. There's always a reason that we are to everything that I do, Mardelicious Little Babies. So this uploader happens to have 6.72 million. So this is a large, colossal channel, Mardelicious Little Babies. And this uploader is called, okay, 3 words together, capital B, beard, as in I'm stroking my beard. Capital M, meats, sorry. So it's not meats as in meets and greets. Shake your hand, how do you do? Not one of those, Mardelicious Little Babies. It's meats. I'll spell it for you. MEATS. And then food. Okay, Mardelicious Babies. So the uploader's channel should read beard meets food. 3 words together, Mardelicious Little Babies. Okay. The video should read, nobody has ever beaten the 8th wonder of the world. Okay, Mardelicious Little Babies. So I'm just going to repeat this again for you, shall I? Nobody has ever beaten the 8th wonder of the world. Okay, Mardelicious Little Babies, yes. So this is just over 14 minutes long, Mardelicious Little Babies. Now, what is this about? What is this about? Okay, Mardelicious Little Babies. Well, you see, your man here now, okay, there are other ones who do this, but I tend to watch some of these Mardelicious Little Babies only every now and again. But he goes round and he eats, well, let's just say, a rather colossal amount of food. I'm just there we are, fascinated, Mardelicious Little Babies, how somebody can eat that amount of food. Now, I do remember Mardelicious Little Babies talking about this, whatever, o'clock ago. I cannot remember now. I'm going back months and months. Could be even a couple of years ago. I've mentioned, it could be this one I mentioned, this channel, and I'm always fascinated. Where did I put it? I mean, what happens afterwards? I do know there we are. I do know with some of them, Mardelicious Little Babies, because I've looked at other channels. Okay, I cannot tell you offhand right now, but I do know with some. There we are. They you know, they project it. So I do not wish to put anybody off their lunch or breakfast or evening meal, wherever you are in the world, my little beautifuls. They do project it out afterwards. Okay, I should imagine, as well as the big white bowl seems to get a good hammering. Do you know what I mean? There we are, Mardelicious Little Babies. Okay, but anybody who eats this amount of food, I mean, just watching. I mean, please do not get me wrong. I mean, he's got a colossal channel, okay? And it is very, I'll repeat again, fascinating to watch, but it's the 8th wonder of the world, isn't it? Okay? But the point of the matter is, Mardelicious Little Babies, is this, you know, ones need to look at the 8th wonders of the world. Do you know what I mean, Mads? Lustig babies, yes. Spot something. Do you know what I mean? So for myself, even watching it, as much as I'm fascinated with it, it also, believe it or not, puts me off a meal. There we are. It puts me off eating a meal. But put it this way, if everybody was to eat, so what do I do to draw myself to a conclusion? What do I do? If everybody was to eat and yam food like that, we would really have a serious problem, wouldn't we? There we are. Now, delicious babies, yes. Okay, so I'm giving food. There we are. Food for thought. Oh, look at that, food for thought. Okay, but it is very fascinating to watch. It's just the way he does it. It's just honestly the way you can eat in yam. Honestly, and there's others like I said, but for some reason his videos there we are seem to be I don't know whether it's the way he carries. I don't mean it in that way. The way he carries himself off. It's just like he's good on this. I don't mean it in that way. He's good on the screen. There we are on the screen. Okay, whereas others I cannot quite gel with. Do you know what I mean? Mads Lichtuk babies, but this one here I can watch no problem. Okay, but it's just so fascinating. But the eight wonders of the world. There we are. Keep saying this anyway. Now, family Mads Lichtuk babies. Okay, so this one here, it says it's got 9 videos, but there's only 2 showing. And this one's got 7.52 thousand subscribers, my delicious babies. Just over 21 minutes, okay? And what was the other one? Oh, yeah, I've explained how many minutes to everybody else, okay? Sometimes you've got to break down the minutes, what I'm saying. There we are, what I'm saying. Okay, somebody's just making me say this again. Okay, let me give you an example. So you've got 21, okay? So you could do 2 plus 1. Okay, comes to 3. Okay, then you've got 14, just over 14 minutes. So then you've got 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay, my delicious babies. And then you've got then just over 11 minutes, 8. So it's 10, isn't it, my delicious babies? And then you've got Peter's video, which is the first one that I said, bless him, which is over nearly 6 minutes. Okay, but we still class it as 5. Okay, well, I suppose you class it more as 6 because it's more than, isn't it? Okay, my delicious babies, so you could do it that way. Okay, my delicious babies, so what did I just say? So that's 10, yeah, because you got 3 plus 5, which is 8, plus 2, which is 10. So you could say, if you wanted to round it off, you could say 16, or if you want to say 15, if you want to just go with the 5, you can. But if you're doing it in mathematics, they say whatever's greater, isn't it? I mean, I'm shit at maths, but I'm just saying, I suppose you just remember things every now and again. Anyway, my delicious babies, and then you come up with another number. There we are. Okay, my delicious babies. Anyway, there we are. That's it all across here. Now then, my delicious babies, this video should read, AI realises it's not being watched. Does what experts warned, yeah. Well, we haven't really seen a lot of experts, have we, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? I haven't seen any, actually, for decades. Okay. I mean, really, I just feel that word should be removed from the dictionary. I've said this a long time anyway, my delicious babies. What is an expert? So an expert, the definition of an expert is somebody who has excellence, there we are, in their field. That is what I would have thought the definition of an expert is. But we never seen that, did we? Did we, my delicious babies? We never saw that at all, did we? Especially in the old COVID. Did we, my delicious babies? We seen a load of shitheads who put themselves on the podiums and on the little stages. But we never seen no experts, did we, my delicious babies? No. Okay, now then, my delicious babies. So that's all my videos. There is one more thing, actually. So anyway, the best one to take a look at, I would say at the moment, I think he's on Substack as well. Not in that way. is Dr. Cartland. Is it David Cartland? Anyway, only so many days ago, my delicious babies are lovely UK space column, space news on YouTube. My delicious babies, they do have their own website as well. Not in that way, not in that way. Dr. I'm pretty sure his name's Dr. David Cartland, okay? So the point of the matter is, my delicious babies, he was talking to germ warfare on UK space column space news. Okay, my delicious babies, I think it was just for about an hour. And Dr. Cartland, I've seen plenty of videos to do with Dr. Cartland's my delicious babies, and he, he is quite well, he has actually, didn't need to stumble here. He's clearly explained to anybody who is spoken to on different videos or podcasts, whatever they call it these days, that he is, even though he had to take the injection, he said, which was to do with his, for him being a doctor, he is an anti-vaxxer. Okay, my delicious babies, but he's been on a lot of different videos. Okay, I've watched a lot of his videos anyway, my delicious babies, but he's in a situation at the moment, so he's unable to find work because, basically they've thrown the book at him. Okay, this is what happens when you come up against the medical. Do you know what I mean? If you say something that others are not liking, well, the fact of the matter is they're going to do everything to destroy you. Okay, my delicious babies. So, the one thing I will say, my delicious babies, and I have heard him say, he said it on UK column with Germ, bless, and he, not in that way, and he said it on others, but the one thing that I was pleased about what he said is that, when he looks back to his career and he looks back to, the way that they were taught in medicine, my delicious babies, okay, he does realise that everything was not quite correct, shall we say. Okay, my delicious babies, but at least he's owned up to that. If you look at your average Joe Blogs, doctors, nurses, that I get along with very few of them. Me and doctors and nurses, generally speaking, I'm not alike him. We do not really get along. Okay, there's very few who I do get along with. Okay, the fact of the matter is, my delicious babies, is that they will never own up, will they? So they could wrongly inject somebody and very sadly kill murderers. Na 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 na. Okay. Or is it culling? That doesn't just go on. You're in the army now. Whoa, whoa, you're in the army now. Okay, my delicious babies, yes. So they would never ever own up, would they, my delicious babies, to anything that they've done wrong? What do you hear them say now then? Oh, well, I was told to do it, I was following orders. Have they not got their own noddle, man? Have they not got their own noddle? Can they not stand there and say, forget about the brum brum wheels, forget about the fuck off houses, and forget about all the fuck off flats, okay? The fuck off whatever. Why don't they just do the right thing now, to where? And just say, no, this is wrong, what I am doing, and I do not feel that this is correct to do. I have been going and doing other research, and I'm not happy with what I'm being asked to do. But they'll never do that, my delicious babies, and anybody who has, for the small number, okay, let me tell you, they were well and truly on the other end of things, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? And this is where Dr. Cartland is, okay? But he was not happy about what he was seeing, But now he's got, where one's, can contact him. I think is it on his website or something. Anyway, well, basically, because nobody's trusting, really the medical industry. Nobody's really trusting your not so friendly flipping quacks. Nobody's trusting the poxy box in the corner of the room, and nobody's trusting fuck all, man. Do you know what I mean? But to do all this to that man, and he's a family man with his bairns and his wife. I mean, he went through a stage, I do believe, because I remember him saying on one of his videos, that he's having problems, him and his wife are having problems, because that's what happens, man, to the little babies, you know what I mean? So, when things start to get stripped away, meaning I'm talking about your job wise and everything like this now then, well, it bring problem in the household, doesn't it? It's ding, ding, dong, dong, common sense. You know what I mean? But when the poor man cannot even go and get a job, but he even says on with German warfare on UK column news, man, delicious babies. He says when he looks back in his 17-year career, yeah, number 17 appears in a lot of places. Man, delicious babies. I've known a long time, many years. Okay, that he said that for some of it in his career he feels ashamed, and for a doctor, there we are, to say that. Well, you have to say, good on you. You know what I mean? Because you're saying it. But for many, I mean, I've known many retired nurses or whatever, you know what I mean? They'll never say, and you even see them in the alternative media for some of them. Like the shit doesn't stink, like the shark doesn't stink, you know what I mean? And they'll ramble on about this and ramble on about that. I'm not talking about every single one of them, but the majority of them. They'll ramble on about this and ramble on about that, martyristic babies, but they'll never ever say if they've ever done anything wrong or they feel that they've done anything wrong. There's only very few who will say that. And that's how you sort the wheat from the chaff. Have you noticed, just before we go, martyristic babies, so if anybody can find a way and maybe give some ideas for Dr. Cartland, just for him to, to try and find some way of, so he can earn a bit of ka-ching or something like this now then to help your man there, then, you know what I mean? Please, if anybody has any ideas, there we are, it'd be most welcomed for himself, I'm sure, okay? But there's different places where you can see him, but I'm pretty sure Substack. But even if you was to type in a comment into UK column news, it's only so many days ago with Dr. Cartland and Germ, you'll hear it. Any sort of ideas at all, you know what I mean, that will help him, okay? Because let me tell you, they've done a lot so far to destroy that man's reputation. Okay, my delicious babies. Because what it is, it's the way they see it is it's setting an example. That's how they see it, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? So that others do not speak out. You know what I mean? Well, that's wrong, isn't it? Because nobody should have a licence to be a drug pusher or to be a murderer, should they? My delicious babies, you know what I mean? Because that's what this is. Take away the pretty little bows, and all the flipping rose petals, you know what I mean? What you got behind it? Fucking drugs, man. That's what you got. Drug pushers and fucking murderers. Do you know what I mean? And of course, because more and more are waking up to this fact. Okay, my delicious babies, well, I'm pretty sure others are not liking. One last thing, that's what I wanted to say, getting back to what I was just about to say. Have you noticed how many now, from the flipping mainstream and that, have come into the flipping alternative? I have. Our lovely, not in that way, our lovely dear David Ark, his lovely dear sons Gareth and Jim, their lovely dear friend Richard, they've all noticed my delicious babies. Okay, all of them have. Do you know what I mean? Okay? I mean, this to the point of ridiculous now. And then, of course, what they're doing, they're walking around, doing the walk and talk. So they're copying our other lovely uploaders, my delicious babies. And this is not myself being childish, but you see, they cannot think for themselves, isn't it? So they have to copy. So this is what you're seeing. So you're seeing, even politicians, everything that walk, I've got to be honest, my delicious babies, it's fucking pathetic. There we are, to fucking watch. in my view, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? It really, really is, you know. But this is what they do. The snakes, man. They fucking get in everywhere, don't they? You know what I mean? Lord and a snake's belly, man. And what, and just because they come on to like an alternative and they've got their own channels, that all of a sudden the shit don't stink. Fucking damn rink, man. Anyway, my delicious babies, I'm not swearing at you. You know that, my delicious babies. It's just I do get my days. Some days I can be a good girl and some days I'm not such a good girl. You know what I mean, my delicious babies, yes. Okay? But I just like to speak my flipping noddle, my man. And there's nothing wrong with that, my delicious babies. I see that as being perfectly acceptable. Okay, so whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected. How I love you so. You're super duper wonderful, super duper delicious, and I love you. So until my next video, you just please and thank you. Look after now. Please enjoy the weather, whether it is rain or shine, whatever it is, we're still alive. We're still breathing and we're still alive, okay? And we must continue to feel that love, okay? And if you have got friends, family, okay? Even, you know, I mean, I'm not talking, you know, like do not talk to strangers and all that, you know what I mean? But give that feel the love, you know what I mean? Vibe, you know, just spread the love, you know, not in that way, not in that way, and that, you know what I mean? My delicious babies. But, you know, just if somebody needs a hug, give them a hug, you know, within reason, like, you know what I mean? But, you know, if they're friends, family, give them a hug. You know what I mean? If they're neighbours, give them a hug. I do, my delicious babies, I do. You know what I mean? Well, why not? Why not? A hug a day keeps you not so friendly. Quack, quack. Away. You know what I mean, my delicious babies? If somebody wants to have a conversation with you, no matter how small, no matter how large, whether it's a short conversation, whether it's a longer conversation, if that is what they want to do, there we are. Then so be it. They shall do it. Okay? A listening ear is what it's all about, my delicious babies. And what's the old-fashioned saying? What's the old-fashioned saying, everybody? A problem shared, there we are, is a problem halved. Okay, my delicious babies? So until the next time, I love you. Take care. Thank you so very much for any views, for any likes, for the occasional comments. I will love you, sir. Bye-bye.